Hey everybody, welcome to Shelf Life, the monthly series where I look back at games from about half a year ago and let you know whether they stayed in my collection or if they're crowdfunding games, whether I backed them or asked for a review copy. Lots of fun ones on the list this time, including a couple that I designed myself. And as always, we'll have a contest at the end of the video for a free game from my collection, and you can also use the link in the video description to vote for next month's contest. But let's get right to it and see which of these games had shelf life. So our first matchup is Soldiers in Postmen's Uniforms, one of the Valiant Defender series games by David Thompson, versus The Realm of Shadows, which was a crowdfunding campaign with 3 thematically related games with different mechanics. And talking about Soldiers in Postmen's Uniforms first, I tend to love the Valiant Defender series from David Thompson. Disclaimer, he is a friend of mine. But I think this game is incredibly tense, incredibly fraught as you try to survive as long as possible in a doomed defense against these German invaders. And just the gut punch of trying to keep your defenders alive and never being able to, and all the resource management of trying to get like weapons where you need them and trying to keep the Germans out of the post office. It's great. That being said, though, I did get rid of this one because I still like Castle Itter better in the series for quick play. It just has by far the quickest play and setup. And then for a more tactically engaging one, I'm actually really into the newest entry in the series, Lanzerath Ridge, which really changes up the formula quite a bit, does some very different things. So, yeah, this is still a great game, but since the series tends to be somewhat similar, I don't feel like I need to own all of them. And then we get to Realm of Shadows, 3 different games, like I said. The first one is A Hand of Destiny. This one I didn't like very much. I thought the balance was kind of off. It's sort of a Palm Island-ish game where you're like doing a dungeon crawl in the palm of your hand. It was okay. The Forgotten Road, which was sort of like a little like dungeon delve, I thought was definitely more interesting, probably the best of the bunch. And then the last Stronghold was a little bit like Tiny Epic Defenders. Pretty cool. Again, I thought there were some balanced things, but we talked through some of them, and I think the game will be better. This one I'm going to say is a cull for now because I didn't back it, and I haven't actually talked to Gabe about getting a review copy yet. There's, I guess, the possibility that he might just send me one in the future, but I'm not going to like go out of my way to request one. I liked the second and third games okay, definitely more than the first one, and I think with the improvements he's making, it'll probably be really good, but I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of micro games in general. You all know that, so I'm not going to really track this one down and hunt for it unless it just kind of comes to my doorstep. So that's a double call. Sorry, everybody. Soldiers in Postmen's Uniform and Realm of Shadows, both gone. Next up is Galaxy Trucker, the competitive game of building and flying spaceships, versus Dark Dealings, which is a game I designed with Peter Goosis, and that's a solo or competitive game of drafting and survival. And starting with Galaxy Trucker, the only reason this is on here is because I designed a little solo variant for it. It's not great. Honestly, even though I designed it, I'd rather play the app personally than play my own solo variant, but it works pretty well if you don't want to bring electronics into the mix. But Galaxy Trucker is a favorite game from way back, and I really like the new edition. It's kind of a lean-down one. I originally bought all the expansions for Galaxy Trucker, and then they made the game so hard to get to the table and teach people that I sold my copy, and now having it back again with no expansions, and maybe I'll pick up this one new one they're doing, but I don't think I'll get everything. That's kind of hit the sweet spot for it actually getting to my table. But yeah, I still love the core gameplay loop of Galaxy Trucker, building a ship with sort of a polyomino kind of thing, and then trying to survive all these cards, people just blowing you up and terrible things happening. It's not going to be for everyone, but I really like it, so this is a keeper. And then Dark Dealings is the second game we ever got published. I really liked we had one solo mode for the first printing, and then we came up with an additional one when we did the expansion Kickstarter. I think they both work really well. In the video I did, I showed the kind of more strategic second solo mode. But this is kind of like a fantasy riff on For Sale. That was one of my main inspirations for the design. And I don't know, I still think it's super fun. It's also one of my games, so I'm really not going to get rid of my copy, especially since right now it's not in print. It's very tough to find a copy, especially of the base game and the expansion. So if I got rid of mine, I might never play it again. But yeah, I'm still proud of this one. I think Rob Lundy, who did the art, did a fantastic job. It's really fun and evocative, kind of extreme, almost like chibi style art. So this is a great one, and it's one of mine. So yeah, this is a double keep. Galaxy Trucker and Dark Dealings both hanging around. And next is Mega Man Adventures. This is another design of mine. This was an interesting month, apparently. This is a 1 to 4 player game based on the Mega Man video game franchise, and it goes against Deep Space D6 Armada. This is a follow-up to Deep Space D6, which is a larger space adventure game than Deep Space D6, which was a very quick dice-based one. And starting out with Mega Man Adventures, hopefully it'll deliver one day. Blacklist Games has had a bit of trouble recently, if you don't know, so we're hoping that the game I think it's printed. It's just like hanging out in China, waiting. And there were like a few copies that went through Barnes & Noble. I didn't get one, but Colin did. So worst case, maybe I can beg Colin for his copy if I don't get a copy of my own game. But yeah, if it comes out, I think this one is great. Another one that I'm very proud of. I love Mega Man, and people that have played it have said that it feels like Mega Man, and that was one of the main goals I had in designing it with Peter. So yeah, I'm hoping I get to play this final version at some point. Praying for it, but I think this game's great, so hopefully y'all will get to play it at some point too. And then there's Deep Space D6 Armada. I was looking for the playthrough that I thought I did of this game, and then I remember that I didn't do one because I thought the game was so poorly balanced and poorly paced and just not very well done that I didn't even make a playthrough. I just did a review. So yeah, I'll keep this short. This game could have been great. I think the ideas behind it and like the core mechanics were pretty cool, but the balance was so abysmal. It had such a runaway, just kind of like get so powerful so quickly that the entire game became a joke and yet still lasted way too long. Maybe if they do like a 2.0 version of the game with better rules and better balance, I would play it again, but as is, I cannot recommend this one. So Mega Man Adventures definitely wins over Deep Space D6 Armada. And our final matchup is Role Player Adventures versus Final Girl. Oof, both of these were top games for me last year. So which one wins? So first we've got Role Player Adventures. This is a very heavily narrative-based game with like this little dice puzzle every once in a while to resolve skill checks. And you progress through a campaign, reading things, getting like keywords that let you unlock different adventures. It has branching, it has choices, it has like faction loyalty. I think the narrative in this one is amazing. As for the core mechanics, I enjoy them, but the balance was way off. But even though I've played through it, I want to play through it again. I want to play through it with my wife and play through it with my kids again once they're a little bit older. And they've introduced a new variant that is supposed to make the game better balanced, because that was the one big complaint that both Colin and I had about the game, that you just kind of become undefeatable very quickly. So I'm very interested to try out this new variant and see if it makes the game tenser, because that'll also make the story go in different directions. When you fail skills, then you can also like push the story in new ways. So yeah, I'm very excited to play this one again with that variant. Gonna play through it at least one more time with my wife as a minimum, and we'll see where we go from there. But for now, keeping it until I get to do that. And then finally, appropriately, we've got Final Girl. This is the slasher-themed solo-only game based on the hostage negotiator system, and I loved this one. I loved it back when I previewed it. I still love it now. So yeah, this is definitely a keeper. Now, the more interesting question is, did I go in for Season 2? And I don't know if the Pledge Manager is closed, but I'm definitely currently in for a buck. Part of me is like, I've already have so much Final Girl. Like, I'm not playing it all the time. I'm already a busy guy, so maybe I don't need it. But then on the other hand, some of the themes in there, like Aliens, gosh, I love Aliens. And like, they have some of my favorite movie, like, kind of call-outs in that. So, I mean, even talking about it now, I feel like I'm almost convincing myself to go buy it. But real quick, the game is very tense. It is very random. You can sometimes win or lose based on your dice rolls. Just be aware of that. But there is a lot of like nice like resource management and kind of choice of how you spend your actions and such. I love this one. I don't think I'll get rid of it anytime soon. But again, I will have to make the choice of whether I buy even more or stick with what I got. So yes, that's right, a double keep. Role Player Adventures and Final Girl both sticking around, at least for now. So there we go, 5 keeps out of 8 games. I think we've had something like that percentage for the last several months. But hang on, let's see how people voted and who our big winner is. And all right, here we go. Let's see how everybody did. First, for Group 1, the highest vote getter, incorrect answer was soldiers in postmen's uniforms with 41% saying I would keep that one. Called them both, the correct answer was right behind with 35%. The Realm of Shadows got 19% saying I would keep just that. And only 5% of people thought I would keep them both, which clearly I did not. As for Group 2, Galaxy Trucker was ahead with 45%. Kept Them Both was next with 27%, so not too many people correct there, only about a quarter of you who entered. Called Them Both got 20%, and Dark Dealings only got 8%. As for Group 3, we've got Mega Man Adventures, the correct answer, all the way up at 50%. Half of you knew I would keep that one. Called Them Both got 23%. Deep Space D6 Armada actually did better than I thought it would. 19% of you thought I would keep it, and only 8% thought I would keep both of those ones. And finally, Group 4, the one that destroyed basically everyone's bracket. Final Girl got 50%, and Roleplay Adventures got 45%. It was very much a split, but almost nobody thought I would keep both of them, which was the correct answer, only 5%. And a Shelf Life first, I believe. Literally nobody said I would call them both. Nobody thought that I didn't like at least one of these enough to keep it. So did we have anybody who got 3 out of 4 correct? Yes, we had a whole bunch. Kelvin Yang, Mel Y, Charlie Taft, Nick Sheen, Mel Ratz, Nicholas Porteous, Ryan Picklesheimer, Tyler Pearson, Mike Nguyen, Chaos, David McGee, Mikey McKay, Hannah Lukasova, Brandon Hum, Patrick Hurley, Ali Hayward, Jonathan Caruso, Lars Bellicom, and Zach Bell. A lot of people. Did anybody get 4 out of 4? 100% correct, though. Yes, the Hungry Gamer Will himself. Check out his YouTube channel. He got all of them correct. And Alan Brooks. And neither of them are Patreon subscribers, so they don't get double entries. So this is a mano, 1 to 3 for Will, 4 to 6 for Alan. See who wins. And here we go. And oh, it's a 3. Which means Will, the Hungry Gamer, is the winner for this month. Will, I'll be contacting you. We talk a lot anyway. And you can figure out something you want me to send you. And Alan, better luck next time. Everyone, thanks for watching Shelf Life. Don't forget you can enter the contest for next month in the video description. I have the link right there. And good gaming. We'll see you at the next stop.